Hey everybody, this is Cromar with TGN, and I'm here today to bring you some more Rift coverage from Beta 6. And today we're looking at the Cleric class, specifically the Soul Sentinel. My configuration, Sentinel, Warden, Purifier. This is a healing setup. These are the three healing classes, or the healing souls rather, for the Cleric, and there's really no other way to do it but to combine all three. The only question is, which one do you put the most points in? So for this build, I am doing a Sentinel build, and we'll see how that looks. Now, honestly, healing in this game is extremely simple. You only have a handful of abilities. Before I get to the healing, let me just show you, let me just get this out of the way, because I'm sure there'll be questions. Grinding with Sentinel is pretty, well, it's pretty dumb. You've got three spells. Light Bolt, which is your standard spam. Banish, which is a dot. And Lice Vengeance, which is a instant cast. Now, this isn't, you know, too terribly slow, but I am 22 and this mob is 20, so, okay. Enough of that silliness. At the beginning, I also buffed myself up with Shield of the Ancestors, which is from Purifier. But anyway, so, healing spells. Now, healing spells, I've got several. The first one is Healing Grace, very basic, moderately fast heal, 2 seconds. Not super fast, but still quite fast. I've got an instant cast, Healing Breath, at 8-second cooldown. I've got Healing Spray, which is a heal over time from Warden. And then I have Healing Invocation, which is a slow power heal. Now, at this rank, I can tell you that Healing Invocation is the most efficient heal in terms of throughput. You get more healing per second out of this slow one. But a couple levels ago, before I ranked this up, when it was at rank 1, it was actually the lesser of the two. So I guess it really depends on whichever one you've ranked up most recently is going to be your main heal. Or if you just want to simplify things, you can just use the fast one, because it's not that much of a difference. But once you get up to higher level, you do get some interesting things. What this does here is it puts a heal over time on you. I have 1 point in it, so we can at least see what the buff looks like. There you go. You know, very special, right? Well, anyway, once it's maxed out, it does add 30% of the healing on top of it, so it makes it a very efficient and powerful heal. There's really no other talents in here that buff this heal exclusively, but so this is really important, and it's one of the first things you want to get once you are able to. Now, pretty much all the rest of the spells for the Sentinel are just simple buffs and stuff like that, and nothing really noteworthy. I mean, you got Touch Light, which is an instant cast on a 45-second cooldown. So, for example, I can, you know, like say the guy's in trouble, I'm casting Healing Grace, I got to renew up, I use my instant, but I need a bigger instant, so I'm going to hit my Invocation and then, or hit my Touch with Light and then hit Healing Invocation for another big instant. And when I healed in a dungeon, I used the hell out of that because the tank was getting walloped. But the other stuff you get, Simple Cleanse, you get a Silence, so this is actually really nice for PvP. And you get a Pain Suppression, which, as you see, we're just like a cooldown that, you know, protects the tank for a short time. And you do get an AoE heal, but it's extremely inefficient. If you look at the mana cost, 157 mana versus 31 mana. So, I mean, this is just no good. You might say, oh, wait, but it heals, you know, if you're in a 5-man party, then this, you know, is more efficient. You know, it's equal efficient, actually, to healing, to casting 1 Healing Grace versus 1 Healing Communion. But the problem is that the party rarely needs that much healing evenly. It's usually just a few people who need a little bit of healing, and it's not really essential. Versus the tank who really needs it. So this is just a way to drain your mana. Now, speaking of AoE, there's an interesting talent here. It's called Protect the Flock, and what it does is it makes your AoE heals, give you your tank a very nice buff, or it causes all their targets to get a nice buff. Problem is, that buff's only 6 seconds, and this is not something you're going to be casting very often. Certainly not every 6 seconds. So there's no way to maintain this buff, and it says your AoE heals, but there's no other AoE heals. I mean, there's one thing on a 2-minute cooldown. Oh, it's in here somewhere. Yeah, Divine Call right here. This is just like an instant cast that heals your whole group on a 1-minute cooldown, excuse me. So you got that, and you got this AoE, and that's it. So I've tested it with this talent. Your Healing Breath, which is your instant cast here, heals 2 other targets and at 60% effectiveness. So although this is a very good talent, unfortunately the fact that makes that talent, that spell AoE, does not make it work with Protect the Flock. So there's no way to maintain this buff on the tank for any reasonable amount of time, because you're not going to be able to stand there and spam this one spell over and over again. So this is not a very useful talent at all. Other heals I don't have yet. Shared Recovery is exactly the same as Binding Heal from WoW. What else is relevant to healing? You do have a instant cast Combat Resurrection on 10 minutes, which is pretty nice, in addition to the more standard Resurrection out of combat. I don't know. There's not much else here that really makes me really think about it. There's nothing else here that really makes me stand up and take notice. I mean, it's pretty standard buffs. And just a couple of basic heals. So that's a configuration for Sentinel. For Warden is, because you see Sentinel here is like kind of jack of all trades, whereas Warden is based around heal over time. The first thing you get here is Healing Spray, which is the heal over time I mentioned. And then once you get 10 talent points, which is around level 30, you get this great spell right here, which is just another heal over time on a cast bar. So you want to open with both of these. And the rest of the Warden spells are pretty much like that, just more variations on different kinds of heal over time, with the expectation that you're probably going to be using Healing Grace or equivalent Purifier spell, I'll show you in a minute, as your primary heal, while the Warden are like support heals. There's even a stacking heal. Where's that stacking heal? Soothing Stream. Yeah, there it is. Only 20 points, so talking about like a pretty high level. So that's 3 hots right there, in addition to your, the stuff you'll be spamming. So this is pretty good. Warden is pretty nice. But that requires a lot of points to get those if you're going Sentinel. Now, Purifier is a shield-based spec. You do gain a standard heal right here, but that's not better than the Sentinel heal. And the thing about this shield-based spec is that you don't get the good shield until 16 points. So it does take quite a while. If you're using Purifier as a sub-spec, you have to invest a lot in it to actually make it useful. For these lower end spells, it's pretty pointless. It's just kind of redundant to Sentinel, but not as flexible. So the first shield you get here is for yourself only. I don't know if I mentioned that. But anyway, there's also some really crappy damage spells and stuff like that. But so I wouldn't recommend putting any points in a Purifier. The reason I have it is for the self-shield. Now, once you get higher level, you can properly take advantage of the Purifier and get this Ward of the Ancestors, which is just a great ability to shield your target. Well, that's it for the Sentinel today. That's Sentinel Purifier Warden with sub-spec points in Warden. Just a perfectly good, normal, standard healing spec, and nothing special, no grinding ability or anything. So, thanks for watching. This is Crowmart with TGN.